friends, it's Miss Maggie here at DKDC. We are continuing with our video series here for our online gym. This is only to be used in regards to Miss Maggie's class and not to be repurposed in any way. So this week we've been working on some crossbody stuff, and here at DKDC we have been working on our disking and stuff like that. So some of our classrooms are going to transition over into the kicking aspect of some movement because we were working a lot on our crossbody and our arm workouts. So we want to try and get a little workouts for our legs. I'm doing this sitting, so if you are in a wheelchair, you guys can do this as well. You can also do this if you aren't in a wheelchair, just to get some of that movement in your legs. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we want to stretch our legs out a little bit. So if we're in a chair, if you need assistance or if someone else needs to help you, you can go ahead and just kind of lift their legs straight up. If you can lift it up by yourself, that's excellent. Try and get that foot out nice and straight out in front of you. So if you can see, I'm out straight. So we get that a little bit of a stretch. We can feel it on the bottom and on the top. Now, if you are also helping or getting help by somebody to lift that up, even a little massage to get those muscles engaged is a great idea. So we'll switch legs, come on over to the other side. So again, lifting it up if you need help. You can put one hand right on top of the thigh and just kind of pull from the bottom. You might get some resistance but from some of you guys who've got really, really strong legs, so we want to try and get that out as much to get some of that stretch in the hamstring and in the quad if they're always in this down position. So let's switch back to the other side again. So just that movement, and then one more time on the other side. So one other exercise that we can to try and open up our hips a little bit from this sitting position is just to pull the leg out. So our one leg stays in the forward position, and we're going to pull that other side out. Really get a stretch on the inside and in those hip flexors. All right, go back. Switch legs. Just getting that little bit of a stretch on this inside here, and even on the outside just by pulling it out. You know, if you need to put a little bit on resistance, that's okay. If you're sitting in a wheelchair and you've got blocks here, you probably won't be able to do that as well because your legs can't go across them. But if you're able to swing those legs out, try and get those legs out. I misspoke. We're going to do one more exercise to try and open up our hamstrings and our hips a little bit more. If you can get into a cross, just sitting in a cross legs, you can just sit in this cross. Otherwise, if you don't think there's much of a stretch going on, you can go ahead and lean forward. Okay, that lean will actually help open up your back hamstring and a little bit of your glute. That's your bottom. Okay, so we want to try and open up that bottom a little bit, and just by leaning forward, you can help open that up. Now, if you can't get a full cross, if your leg is only to here, just a little bit of a push on the top of the knee will help stretch that out. Okay, so even that little bit if you're getting some resistance. Let's switch to the other leg. So that's up. Do that forward lean if you have to. Otherwise, just a little bit of a push. If it's way up here, a little bit of a push on the knee. Now, we don't want to overstretch it, so our knees shouldn't be down here, because that's a little bit of an overstretch. We want to make it look like I'm a number 4. See how it comes up and across? Makes a number 4. Okay. So we got our legs nice and stretched out and ready to go. Get a little movement. We're going to work on kicking. So even in a sitting position, you can work on that kick. If you have a wheelchair, go ahead and move those the legs out of the way where your feet are. If you need help because your feet aren't on the floor, someone can hold it right up in one hand so that you're able to sit and kick it. Another way you can do it is by using a bucket. If your feet are a little bit higher, if your feet sit a little bit higher off the ground, go ahead and stick it right on that bucket. And then we're going to try and encourage those guys to hit it. You can tap on that ball. So if someone can't quite see what it is, they're a little bit, the vision isn't there. If they can hear it, they might be a little bit encouraged. If you have a little beeper, you can use that on your cell phone. So you're going to do it, and all we're going to try and do is get that leg out just to give it a little bit of a kick, okay? If you need to give a little bit of help, just go ahead and grab that leg and he'll do it. And once we kick it, we're always proud of when we kick it. Now, another way you can do it is I have myself an exercise ball here. And those are a little bit easier to kick because they're not as tough. They're a little bit bouncy, so a little bit easier to kick. And they're also usually up a little bit higher. So if your feet aren't close to the ground, you can give that a little bit of a kick. So if it's sitting right in front of you, you just give it a little bit of a bounce. So today we're not really worried about inside, outside. We just want to try and get those legs moving as independently as possible to get them to kick. Now, if you just want to try and get those legs moving, like we're doing a sitting walk, that works as well. All right, so with a lot of our kids here at GKDC, like I said, we have been doing disc golfing. So there's a lot of walking involved in disc golfing. So working on our kicking helps get our legs moving and that cross body that we were working on before. You can always do those again. All right, so I'll see you guys next week. Have a good week.